Ohio State comes back to beat Penn State 44-31 here at Beaver Stadium, and C.J. Stroud led that fourth quarter comeback for the Buckeyes. We are grading C.J. as we do after every game today. 26 of 33, 354 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Ran the ball a little more than he usually does. Steven, what is your grade for C.J. Stroud?
I'm giving him an A+ for today because this is the one thing I was looking to see from him, and he hadn't done it yet. Go win a game and go do some things when everything is going crazy and going wrong. Make it not matter because you're C.J. Stroud. And he ran when he needed to run. He kept things on schedule whenever he could. Like Ryan Day, got in his way a lot with some of his play calling, but when he needed to complete passes down the field on 3rd and long, he completed them. Most of them went to Marvin Harrison, but he completed passes, especially in that fourth quarter when he was 6 of 8 for 129 and his one score. I said it last week after the Iowa game. I need to see him do something elite against another team who has the ability to beat him. And he went out here and did it today. No, the stat line isn't crazy, jumping out the gym 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, but he did exactly what needed to be done today. And that's make a day when the offense was clearly not in sync, not matter.
And it wasn't getting any help from the run game. And we talked, Doug, after last week's game against Iowa, does Ohio State need a run game in order to excel? And I think maybe it does when you're playing one of the best secondaries in the country, but maybe not. So what is your grade for C.J. Stroud?
I mean, they ran it for squat, basically, and, scored 4 touchdowns in the final 9 minutes. Listen, I was going to give him an A-. I was thinking that, and then I thought no. Because even in the first half, when, again, it felt a little off, he was 15 of 20 for 170-something yards, when it wasn't working. But he takes the field with 9.5 minutes to play and his team trailing on the road against a great secondary. And it was what we were talking about, Stephen. We said, Bryce Young leads a touchdown drive here. In 2017, Ohio State was trailing Penn State. J.T. Barrett rallied them with Ryan Day calling the plays. In 2018, Ohio State's here trailing Penn State. Dwayne Haskins rallies them with Ryan Day calling the plays. Think about how different things would be if they did not score a touchdown there to go ahead. And they come out tempo, very big. They came out in tempo. Completion, 40-yard touchdown run. But CJ got him started with 2 great throws, and if he misses those throws and it's 3rd down, where would we be? Where would we be? They took the field trailing at Penn State against what Marvin Harrison Jr. said is the best secondary they'll face the rest of this year. They took the field trailing, and C.J. Stroud led a touchdown drive. That's an A.
Yeah, clear A for me, too. I say my A-pluses for especially superlative performances or the hugest games of the year, but this is a pretty darn big game and a pretty great performance by him. And again, I think early on when this offense was gummed up, unlike last week where I thought we critiqued CJ and saw some poor decisions against that Iowa secondary, some interceptions that were there that he got away with and things like that. I don't have a lot of that this week. I thought this was a pretty crisp performance from him. I agree that the way that they attacked this game was, and some of that was what Penn State was doing and how they were trying to attack Penn State, but things that they were trying that weren't working weren't C.J. Stroud's fault today. I agree with everything you guys have said, and especially just, we were talking the other day, Doug, that I've covered this team now 4 years, and I don't think I've seen Ohio State have to make or complete a fourth quarter comeback. They've had a couple games where they needed to. The Oregon game, he had the ball in his hands, could have done something, didn't happen. The Clemson game, they had the ball, the Fiesta Bowl 2019, didn't finish it off, but were sort of in position. This is the first time they've finished it off, and it was a tough situation that they solved. And he was a part of that, so I'm giving him an A as well. More about this on the Buckeye Talk podcast. Get that wherever you can find podcasts. And get the text 614-350-3315 for news, analysis, updates throughout the week from Buckeye Talk.